Hi, here I am. Welcome back. We have now moved across the hall from the ballroom, still on the third floor, to the northwest corner of the third floor. And this is the Bullock room, named after Judge Bullock. A lot of you may wonder, because we have a lot of names associated with rooms, those are families. They're named after people that are important to these families who donated money originally to the renovation project. So we appreciate the Bullock family. This is the Bullock room. As you look around, sorry, it's a bit of a mess, but I think we had a baby shower here Saturday, and so we haven't had a chance to clean up yet. So you see some tables and chairs, but it gives you an idea of the type of things we host. One of the great things that I think I was able to bring to the table when we did the design, I had the wonderful opportunity to build 2 libraries in Las Vegas, Nevada. And so I learned a lot of what the public and what we want and what they want in a new library. And we're seeing more and more interest in being a community center. So we have a ton of rooms that people can use for a variety of purposes. I mentioned a ballroom with wedding receptions and other things. Our smaller rooms, we can seat about 80, 85 people here in a lecture format. But we rent out our rooms for baby showers, weddings, birthday parties, meetings, all kinds of things that we talk about here in this space. But I'm here for a specific mission today. I want to share one of the most interesting stories about the Academy reconstruction. Right above me, straight ahead, is this beautiful stained glass window. When I first arrived, one of my first little jobs was trying to find out what colors were in that stained glass. The stained glass was gone. And of course we had photos of it, but they were all done in black and white. And so I talked to some of the old timers, some of the old students, and even some faculty. I remember there was some greens and stuff. They couldn't remember all the details. Understandable. So I was just that close to just making some recommendations to the design committee to use some greens and yellows. And we know the actual design with some of the flower looks up there. Just about ready to do it. And then this story came to us. Merrill Bingham, our former public works director, he was a member of our construction committee. And Merrill's a good friend. He passed away a few years ago and I miss him desperately, particularly in the golf course. And Merrill was at a steel fabrication shop in town. And as was very regular, people would ask about how's the building doing. And Merrill brought up, for some reason, the fact that we were working in the building, but we were looking for the stained glass and trying to make that decision. Somebody came up to the counter who overheard that and said, "Are you working on the Academy building?" And Merrill said, "Yeah." He said, "Did I overhear you right? You're trying to figure out that stained glass in the northwest corner?" "Yeah, that's what we're trying to work on right now." He said, "I know where the stained glass is." And Merrill's jaw just dropped. He said, "What?" And then we heard this story. These 2 male cousins were living, if you look to your right, we used to have some older apartments directly north of us here on 600 North. They were living there, and the building was starting to get destroyed. And rocks were starting to come through windows. And they said, if we see a rock go through that window, we're going to come and save that window. Okay. Wow. These college kids. So, as I understand their story, on a New Year's Eve night, they came over, got into the building, which was unusual at all, made their way up here, made a makeshift scaffolding all the way up, and carefully chiseled out the stained glass. Then they created it, and it was shipped to California where both these cousins lived, in hopes that one day somebody would do something with the Academy building. Well, that someday came along, and we were building, and so after that story, we entered into a discussion agreement with these 2 cousins, and the one cousin who is now housing, it was still crated up in this crate in California, and the only thing that the cousin wanted was to make sure that it went right back to where it belonged in this window. What I don't know, and hopefully one day history will kind of show us the way. I don't know why this room was so important. It's the only room in the academy that has a stained glass window in it. And so what we did, we brought that window back from California, paid for it to be shipped out here, and then we took the leading out between the stained glass pieces, had an artisan do this. We had to replace just a couple of the actual stained glass pieces. One of them is that kind of that green Nike swoop at the bottom. And we replaced that piece, and so we re-leaded it, reinstalled it, and so that is the story of that stained glass piece. I think it's a minor miracle, how all of those things came together to show us the way of what was there originally. And so what we have now, that stained glass, is just about as close as to original as we possibly can get. Cool story, huh? Hang on, we've got a couple more stops.